they were BLM coloring books in high school classrooms. I mean, completely inappropriate. We're kind of seeing those woke chickens come home to roost now in New York, aren't we? The social justice coordinator sued me for defamation.
Now, a Wisconsin mother has scored a major victory for free speech. Scarlett Johnson has won a court appeal after being sued by her school district's social justice coordinator because she called her woke and questioned why she was footing the bill, why parents were footing the bill for this nonsense. Scarlett, congratulations on your school win. I think you're here with us. There you are. Yes, Scarlett, congratulations. I'm from England. We deal with this sort of crazy stuff all the time when it comes to free speech. But you don't normally get this sort of clampdown in America. Tell us exactly what happened, what you said, and how you managed to take on the wokies.
Well, when this started, this was during kind of the dark times of COVID, and our children were treated more like a disease than they were the precious souls that they are. And parents had a real awakening. We had an awakening about the way that our school system saw our kids, but what was happening inside of the schools. We began to realize that perhaps some of these administrators and educators did not have our children's best interest at heart. And not just by the COVID policies, but by what was happening in schools. You see, when kids were learning at home, when they were, they were on their screens, we started to see behind the curtain, and we were appalled. We were shocked at what they were learning and what they weren't.
Can you give us an example of what it was that shocked you? I mean, I hate to think, because we've had this same argument over the last 10, 15 years in Britain, and it's some pretty crazy stuff in textbooks.
Yes. How about they were BLM coloring books in high school classrooms? I mean, completely inappropriate, but for high school students, that we started to see that they were learning through the lens of critical race theory. They had to see everything through the lens of identity and class and privilege. There were scales. We've discovered through FOIA that $42,000 was paid to a consultant company, an equity firm, in which part of the presentation was, how racist are you? And there was a scale. And the more, like if you were white and if you had parents who were married, you were privileged and you must be racist because you had white skin. It was everything through this lens of oppressor, oppressed, privilege. We're kind of seeing those woke chickens come home to roost now in New York, aren't we? We're seeing what happens when you indoctrinate kids for a really long time with what I believe is Marxist ideology.
Well, yeah, the next generation coming up are certainly shifting to the left. Mandami can basically, thank better educated, college educated women for his victory there in New York. So you tweeted, "Why am I paying for all of this?" And then, hang on, so you got sued. The school sued you. The social justice coordinator sued you. The district sued you. What happened?
The social justice coordinator sued me for defamation. There was a LinkedIn profile that was sent to me in which this educator had said that she was a social justice coordinator skilled in equity promotion. And then doing a little bit of digging, I discovered our tax dollars were funding this DEI position, despite claims from our district that they weren't doing that we don't even know what critical race theory is. But then again, there was recommendations of reading White Fragility, How to Be an Anti-Racist, and Pedagogy of the Oppressed, which is a Marxist handbook that Mao actually admired. So this was very shocking. So I called it out on social media. I didn't want my tax dollars going to fund this. And I'm Puerto Rican. And I don't like this. I don't want my kids to learn that if they have brown skin, that they are oppressed, and that if their white friends or their white father is an oppressor. That to me was shocking. It was anti-American. I'm the daughter of a vet who served 3 tours after 9/11, who fought for free speech, who fought for our kids to live in America where there's equal opportunity. And I was really offended by this, and I put that out there. I was sued.
How
3 years.
How much did it cost you? Yeah, how much did it cost you personally and financially?
Tens of thousands of dollars personally, just in the initial phases. Depositions are very expensive. We had to go through, to get to a summary judgment, we had to go through the whole process of discovery. They were calling witnesses. They were preparing for a jury trial. I was going to go on trial in front of a jury for calling a social justice coordinator woke. It's ridiculous. I faced 6 figures in legal fees if this went to trial, and I was going to be in a blue county.
Feel like you were sort of caught in the front lines of the culture war here?
Yes, I was, and it wasn't about me. It was about, I represented all of the parents that were standing up across the country, speaking out and saying, we're done with this. We want our kids to go to school to learn, to be educated, not to be reprogrammed, deprogrammed, and indoctrinated.
Well, congratulations, Scarlett, and good luck carrying on your Mums for Liberty crusade there, taking on the wokies in the schools. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Rebeka, fascinating case. I mean, what on earth were they thinking? Like, personally pursuing a mum for a tweet about it? That's the sort of thing we put up in London. We get in London, not in the land of the free.
It's quite litigious, even for the United States. I will say, like, this isn't an isolated incident. This sort of thing is something that I personally encountered when I was even in high school. I remember going to my PE class, and for the sex education classes, they would say, "Oh, well, you know, gender is a spectrum, by the way." And this was before I really became politically involved, or I was 15, or I wasn't sort of privy to what that actually meant or what they were sort of trying to say or allude to. They actually gave us paperwork, and if I had the journalistic instincts at the time, I would have made a scandal about it.
Sure, yeah.
But they gave us paperwork to take home to survey our parents' political thoughts on a lot of these progressive issues and then report back to the school. And this is a public school. And so I share this concern. It's like the first question you would ask is, why am I paying for this?
It does feel like, well, certainly in Britain, and it does feel like there's a bit of a tilt away from all this. Definitely on the trans stuff in the UK. It does feel like America's a little bit behind this. Obviously, the politics of the curriculum, the politics of the classroom is a big issue. Is there a suggestion, is there a feeling that, the tide is turning, or as Rachel said there, sorry, Scarlett said there, this is the chickens are coming home to roost. This is what you've done to a load of progressive left-wing kids.
If you asked me a month ago, I would have said that the tide has totally flipped against the progressives and that people are actually, the Overton window is shifting back to normalcy. But these last couple of elections that we saw on Tuesday, I think it's cause for alarm. I mean, in Virginia, the lieutenant governor, I believe, that was elected is this Democrat. She was also in a more local level politics, and she's on the record saying she doesn't care about the sexually explicit material that is being taught in children's schools. During the Virginia governor debate, she was basically refused to say that she didn't think that transgender men should be not blocked from female bathrooms. We can talk about this all night. I just want to get your very quick 1-minute reaction to some breaking news from the Hill this evening that Congress, in 30 seconds indeed, that Congress have summoned former Prince Andrew to give evidence to their investigation into Epstein. Yes or no, is there any powers they can actually have to force him to come to the United States? I hope there are, because I think I speak for most people that we would like to see more transparency than there has been surrounding the Epstein scandal. So.
All right, well, I believe that when I see it.